do something a little different for October this year. I've wanted to do something like this every year, and then I forget about it on the 1st, and then it comes and goes, and I'm like, I don't want to start it late and then potentially fall behind that much more, and so I don't do it. But I figured, initially, let's review a different Halloween movie or special each day through October this year. But then I realized the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror series. This year's episode will bring us to exactly 31 specials. I gotta, guys, like, I would be stupid to not do it this year if ever I were going to do it. So, I'm gonna watch all 31 of them, one for each day this month, and review / just give my thoughts on each one as we go. So, it is currently October 1st, in case this uploads past midnight, because it's already 11 at night now. I got a late start on this one, but I mean, given current events this night, I got a little derailed from when I was about to hit record. Just saying, I'll leave it at that. But regardless, so the very first one of the Treehouse of Horror episodes actually was not in season 1, it was in season 2. Season 1 they didn't do one yet. So season 2 was the first one, and it brought us, they still had the 3-segment formula, and we had the Bad Dream House, Hungry or the Damned, and the Raven. So, the Bad Dream House, before we get into that, I noticed something in the intro that as many times as I've seen this episode, and I've seen it many times over the years, I believe I even had this one taped on a VHS tape forever ago and watched it like crazy and somehow never noticed it. In the opening sequence after Marge's monologue and it's like doing the opening credits through the cemetery, one of the last headstones that it has after Elvis and Disco, if you blink you miss it, says Paul McCartney. Well played for the Paul is dead clue. Those of you who follow me on Twitter saw that I took a picture of the screen and posted, because I was like, how have I never noticed that before? It was a subtle joke, but I appreciate that this many years later, I'm still noticing new details with it. So anyway, first segment. It's kind of interesting going back and rewatching the really old episodes and just seeing how far the animation style has come in like 30-odd-something years. That first segment, basically, even though it wasn't canon to anywhere else in the rest of the story, but I mean, it makes sense because Bart and Lisa are in the treehouse and they're telling scary stories back and forth, trying to scare each other. And Bart is the one telling, I think, pretty much all of them. But this first story, The Simpsons buy what turns out to be a haunted house. One where, cute little shit happens, like the walls bleeding. Then voices telling them to get out, just cute little things like that, and then having, like, being mind-controlled into wanting to stab each other with knives and axes and all sorts of things, and just all sorts of bad juju, and it turns out that the house is built over an old Indian burial ground. It's a cliched trope, I get it, but I mean, this was their very first one. No one had a clue in 1989, well, season 2, no one had a clue in 1990 how long The Simpsons was going to stick around. Nobody had a clue that 30-odd-something years later, we'd still be here, it'd still be on the air, still getting new episodes, much less still getting Halloween episodes. So, makes sense that they kind of went with the cliches for the very first one. But still, I liked the first segment. The second one, the Hungry or the Damned, basically they all get abducted by aliens, and it's the same aliens that we always get on The Simpsons. I'm not sure if this is our first sighting of them or not. I would have to go back through all the early episodes and see, because I honestly don't remember offhand. But basically, the too long didn't read version of it, Kang and Kronos, is that their names? I'll say this, their names, are basically fattening them up because they plan to eat them. And I want to say it's Lisa that became more aware of what's going on, even though the others blissfully unaware. But yeah, that one, I was like, of the 3 storylines in this one, I don't know, I personally was the least interested with that one. That one was a little boring. I was like, they could have done better. I mean, it's okay. It's not the worst, but it's just eh. But then the last one, the piece de resistance, the Raven. It is literally a retelling of Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven, with Homer telling it, or is it Homer or is it Bart? Crap, I literally just watched it. I'm already having a brain fart about this. Guys, it's late at night. Anyway, Bart is the Raven in it. And I remember watching this as a little kid, and it is because of this episode that I knew that poem before we ever got to reading Edgar Allan Poe in school. I was so smug about it, too. And if I try and recite the poem now myself, my brain does go back to this episode, and it's why I can recite it. I do find it a nice touch. I'm not sure if I've noticed this before tonight either, but towards the end of the segment, as books are getting pulled out of the bookshelf, each of the book titles is another Edgar Allan Poe work. Like, The Telltale Heart was one, like, there was about 3 of them back to back to back, but I was like, nicely done. Subtle, another if you blink you miss it thing because it goes by so quick, but nicely done. I appreciated that. So, for their first foray into doing this kind of a format, especially not knowing that it was going to become a staple every year, I think it was a good first installment, honestly. Like I said, the middle part of it kind of dips a bit. They often do with these, but I mean, this one I was just like, I've seen better. Some of them hold my interest better through all 3, but this one, second one, But the first and the third, awesome. So, if I were going to rate this one on a number scale, that is hard, isn't it? I think I would rate this first one, trying to think. I'm like, am I giving it a 3 or am I giving it a 4? I think I'm gonna give it the 4 because 2/3 of it I really did like. It's just that one where I'm like, and I didn't hate it. So, okay, I think I'll give it a 4 out of 5. So, anyways. This is just a little quickie funsies thing that I'm gonna do this month, each day. Hopefully I don't drive you guys nuts with it. But yeah, I was watching it on Disney+. If you have Disney+, The Simpsons are on there. You can watch all the episodes. And like I said, this will culminate with the 31st one I'll post on Halloween, even though I think the air date for that is on the 13th this month on Fox. So I'll have to remember to set my DVR. And I'll just intentionally put off watching that one till Halloween, so it'll truly be like first impressions of when I get to that one. But anyway, you guys know the drill. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. If you're not already and you'd like to be, click subscribe, hit that notification bell icon so you never miss an upload, leave comments down below. Make sure you're following my social media accounts, my Facebook fan page, my Twitter, my Instagram, my Etsy, everything and more. It's all down below. And if you like what I do here on this channel and you'd like to help support it, the donation link, as always, is down in the description. Get your name on the end card for a month from the time of donating. Anyway, guys, till next time, bye-bye.